We'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of Fairfield City Council to order on Monday, August 10th, 2026. With that, Councilmember Davidson, would you lead us in a prayer and a pledge of allegiance, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We can bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the ability for us to be able to come together as a council and to make decisions on behalf of this city. We ask that our decisions that we make and anything that we do that does impact this city, that we be guided by and that we reflect your will in all of the decisions that we make. God, we are so thankful that we live in a free country and a free nation, and more importantly, that we do have a true King in Jesus Christ, our Savior. God, we ask that you please watch over and protect our first responders, and even more so this week, that you watch over our police department and bring them a sense of peace and help them out and continue to watch over them, especially our new officers that we have getting sworn in tonight. We ask that you watch them, you protect them, and you help them and all they do for them to fulfill their duty. It's all of this that we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Davidson. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Davidson.
Here.
Councilmember Bessel. Here. Councilmember Paulus. Councilmember Pennington. Here. Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Myers.
Here.
Councilmember Brill.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Paulus.
Second. Motion is second to excuse Councilmember Paulus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilmember is excused. Next, do we have any agenda modifications? Seeing none, we'll continue moving down as a request for an executive session.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, pending or imminent litigation with attorney, and to consider the purchase or sale of property for public purposes. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to convene executive session per the city manager's direction.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for executive session. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Davidson.
Yes.
Councilmember Bessel.
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Brill.
Yes.
All are in favor, so executive session will follow this regular meeting. Now we have a special presentation. We have 4 people that are going to be sworn in as police officers. Folks, would you come up, please? Well, let me say, welcome to the team, and you are joining an excellent police department. You have a great chief, and you got a lot of great coworkers that do an excellent job. I mean, I've always held our police department in high regard, and we'll expect great things out of you. I mean, that's the standard here. We don't go for second, we want first. So it's like Ricky Bobby, either in first place or you're in last. So we expect first place. And obviously, you must be or you wouldn't be here today because I trust the process. So I've got the oath of office. I'll need you all to raise your right hand. And now repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Ohio, and the charter and ordinances of the city of Fairfield. And that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of police officer for the city of Fairfield, Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations. Okay. I think we have some badges now. And if you have any questions about the team that you're joining, just look behind me. There's a whole bunch of here all ready to support you. And you're going to find that support amongst all the police officers in Fairfield. So congratulations. Thank you for coming here and welcome to our team. So you're dismissed. Okay, next, we do have a special presentation tonight. We have two young ladies that are representing Hayden and Crew. It's a charity here in Fairfield, and I will have Kelsey Hambrick and Nicole Campbell come up and tell us a little bit about the history and what you do, please.
So my name is Kelsey and I'm one of the co-founders of the Hayden and Crew Project. We started this nonprofit in 2021. After I had lost my son Crew in 2019. I had pre-eclampsia and he was born 3 months early. I had swelling in the brain, which led to him having to come that early. He lived for 9 days before he passed. It was very difficult, obviously traumatic, because I was going through also a tough time. You know, it came on very quick. But one of the things that stood out the most is like when you're on these floors, like there's a lot of people around you. There's a lot of families who have healthy babies, crying babies, while I was still in the hospital having to go down to see mine after learning about bleeds in his brain and how he had all these strikes at the time, and it was very difficult. So after he passed, you know, you kind of sit there and you're like, what can I do? At the end of the day, it's not an easy task. You grieve forever, you know, but I couldn't just sit there and go through that without doing something. So Nicole here had lost too. So.
Yeah, so a few months actually before Kelsey and Wayne lost, me and my husband had found out we were pregnant with our first, and everything was good in the first trimester. As soon as I hit the second trimester, I started having symptoms of a miscarriage. So I, go to the doctor thinking the worst, and they find a strong heartbeat. So they're like, we don't know why this is happening. They put me on limited mobility. I was in and out of doctor's offices for weeks. At the end of my 18th week of pregnancy, I just had a gut intuition that something wasn't right. And so I tried to find the heartbeat, couldn't find it at home. So I called Kelsey, and she was pregnant with Kerr at the time. And I said, hey, if I come over, can you try to find the heartbeat? You work in the medical field. Her sister was a labor and delivery nurse at the time. They couldn't find it either. So we immediately go to the hospital, and where it was confirmed that we had lost her. So I was admitted right away to be induced. And so the next day, I delivered her around like 11:30, and we were home by 2:15. So there was really no time to like process what the last 24 hours had just kind of been. So Kelsey approached us about
Starting a
doing
nonprofit.
something. Yeah, we didn't know what we wanted to do, but
Yep. So I actually worked for TriHealth at the time and thought either it was going to be a great thing if I emailed the whole president of the entire TriHealth, or it was going to be something that I'd probably lose my job for. But I went on a whim and said, hey, because when we first started this, we just were giving back to the team, like the healthcare team, because we really didn't know which avenue we wanted to do with it. And then the Angel Suites kind of came about in that way. I emailed him and I said, hey, we have this idea to create this suite for the families that are going through this, that it takes them away from the healthy babies who you're so happy for, but at that time is very triggering and hard to hear. You're on your own little island almost, but the room looks like a home. It doesn't look like a hospital room where you're seeing blood pressure stuff. The IV pulls, like you still have access to that, but they can also take all of that out. There's a carrying cradle there that the family can spend time, the time that we didn't have, and that was also huge for me. I had hours, like and that was the first time I was able to hold crew, was as he was actually passing away. So I wanted to give families that gift of time that we didn't have.
Yeah, so we currently have a normal labor and delivery suite at Good Sam in Bethesda North. We have a labor and delivery suite at Christ, and we also started the very first NICU suite in our area. So if a baby is going to, kind of in her scenario, when crew started to decline, they would be able to go into this room that's more peaceful, and then they get 72 hours after the babies have passed to spend time with them. Family can come in. And then we are actually currently doing 2 labor and delivery suites, one at UC Maine and one at UC Westchester, and then another NICU suite at UC Maine. So we have, how many? 4 established and 3 more on the way.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing what you do.
Thank you.
I know I wasn't fortunate enough to have children, so that's one kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
But to lose one, like both of you have, that's almost unfathomable. To think what it would be like to have a child and lose it almost immediately.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is just, like I said, it's amazing to give back and to help people like you're helping. These angel suites, I saw the pictures and I was thoroughly impressed. And again, I can't imagine to go through what you all had went through, but the way that you've turned this grief into something to help others is just, it touched me. It really did. And, excuse me, I'll come around front. Again, ladies, I was so impressed with what you're doing, with your husbands, yourself, and how you're giving back to others. And you're here in Fairfield. I mean, you're Fairfield people, you're from here. I mean, I just happen to know somebody's mother and father sitting back there, because I went to school with them. Jim, Tanya, good to see you again. But no, it really got to me when I saw what you were doing. So if you'll come up here real quick. Again, I don't give these out very often, but I have a key to the city for both of you. For what you do. I mean, thank you for helping others. I mean, you go above and beyond with your fundraising and helping these people at their worst time. I mean, I can't imagine anything worse than losing a child. And what you do is just so impressive, and just keep doing it. If there's anything I can ever do to help, please. I'm easy to find. And I'm glad to help. Oh, thank you for coming, and just keep up the good work. I mean, help others. That's what we were charged to do. So, yep, that's perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight. Have a great night. Okay, now we are at citizen comments. Is there anybody here that'd like to address council? Please come up and let us have your name and address, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dave Schultz. I'm 5559 Lakeside for 26 years. And I have 2 questions,
Okay.
both centered around Lake project.
Yeah.
And I only got 5 minutes, so I'll try to be quick. But I think you guys may have copies, but if you don't, I have copies for you.
No,
if you
that's
need them.
okay. We've emailed
Okay,
and
good.
whatnot.
So the first question had to do with a pathway from Lakeside Drive to the lake.
Yes.
I remember there was a discussion several years ago about a pathway being put in there, but I've never seen anything since then.
Well, yeah, it will be done eventually. I can't give you a time frame yet, but there will be a sidewalk connection from Lakeside to Marsh Lake.
Oh,
That's
okay.
guaranteed. We
Yeah.
have the easement, and it was
Okay.
planned before the subdivision was, and I was here. So that's the
That's
other,
what I
I
thought.
remember I was here.
That's what I
And
thought.
there will be a connection because we have the easement, and it is in the plan. So that will happen.
Okay, and that's probably over there by that power station, I guess.
Yeah, it's right there. I can't tell you without looking at a map, but
Right.
there is an easement that we
Yeah,
have.
I saw it on the master plan, so.
Yeah, we're
and
set.
I know there was some concern maybe about privacy, and I thought, well, you could always put in a privacy fence on both
The
sides.
easement was there before the homes were built. So it's, it's clear.
Well, that's good, because that'd be good for bikes and walking. and
absolutely.
And everything. Okay, great. Well, that was easy. And then the second question just has to do with the lake recreation. I know they're planning on having a kayak launch, but I've never heard any talk about canoes, having canoe rental or anything. And that was one thing I thought would be beneficial. That'd be a good return on investment for rental. A lot of the other lakes, Sharon Woods, Winton Woods, so forth, have them. And, because right now, I mean, the only people that can use the launch are people that can actually have their own canoe or kayak and can carry it down there. So for anybody else who just wants to walk there, bike there, whatever, this would give them access to being able to have that. And canoes can most kayaks are individual kayaks, and canoes can fit more people. And more people means more concessions.
It's a
and-
great idea. And I think that we've got some Parks Board representatives here tonight, council rep for Parks Board. They've all heard you loud and clear, and maybe that's something we can incorporate down the road as we evolve the park down there.
Mr. Mayor, can City Manager Timmer speak on that? I think
Yeah,
there is
please.
So we do currently offer kayak rentals down there now, so you can do that. We're in our second or third summer of offering the kayak rentals. We have not offered canoes at this time, but as part of the, expansion of what we're doing with the bait house, we have built-in capacity if we want to do future rentals in addition to the kayak. So that is something we're thinking about, but there is kayak rentals currently there right now.
Are kayaks just individual or are they multi?
They're individual.
That's what I thought, yeah, okay.
But it's a great idea. It's under consideration. And thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you. Okay, now we will go to council reports. Councilmember Bezel, please.
Thank you, no report.
Councilmember Pennington.
I have a couple items. The contractor that does sidewalk cuttings, Precision Safe Sidewalks, will be starting this week. The roundabout at Ross and Woodridge is scheduled to open next Friday, August the 21st, and that's weather permitting. And I know I've been asked that many times when that roundabout's going to be open. So August the 21st, weather permitting. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Kraft.
I have two things, Mr. Mayor. Last week, Public Works had a contractor complete the CIP project to add some paved trail at Oakwood Park to better connect the path to the public street. And Village Green has hosted 3 Groovin' on the Green concerts, our rescheduled drone show, antique car parade, and Shakespeare in the Park since our last meeting. A highlight was Who's Bad Groovin' concert, which record attendance of 5,800 people were in attendance. It's the first time I've seen the lot across from Sacred Heart next to the fire station almost completely full as well, and all the other local parks. It was incredible. It was so great to see that many people down utilizing the facilities. And then city championships were held at South Trace Golf Course since our last meeting as well. So a couple updates on activity.
Great.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one item. On August 27th, which is a Thursday at 2:30, the brand-new solar array, which powers the wastewater treatment plant down by the Miracle Field, there's going to be a commissioning ceremony at that time. I would encourage anybody that wants to see some brand-new technology and a significant cost savings for the city to participate. Did I say that wrong, Ed? Or where's Jason? It's 2:30, 5:30. 5:30 is when we throw the switch. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Myers. Councilmember Brill.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councilmember Davidson.
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Public hearing. We have a public hearing tonight. Madam Clerk, would you read the public hearing notice, please?
All property owners and citizens of Fairfield, Ohio are hereby notified that a joint public hearing between the Planning Commission and City Council has been scheduled for Monday, August 10th, 2026 at 7:00 p.m. at the Fairfield Municipal Building, 5350 Pleasant Avenue, Fairfield, Ohio, 45014. The purpose of the hearing is to solicit citizen input regarding a rezoning of the rear portion of the property at 5145 Pleasant Avenue from R3 Multifamily Zoning District to D1 Downtown Zoning District. Questions may be directed to the department by telephone at 513-867-5345 or via email at development@fairfield-city.org. The department is open Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now I think we need a roll call for the Planning Commission.
Commissioner Willis. Commissioner Hassler. Commissioner O'Brien. Commissioner Lepsky. Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Robertson. Commissioner Brill.
Commissioner Willis, could you ask that one more time?
Commissioner Willis.
Thank
So it
you.
appears all are present and accounted for. Great. Excuse me. Please, Aaron, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. We are here this evening, as Alicia Wilson mentioned, for a public hearing for rezoning at 5145 Pleasant Avenue. This is a piece of property that's located on the west side of Pleasant Avenue, right across from Glenna Drive. It's the property that's outlined in red. That was purchased by the Fairfield Community Improvement Corporation. I'm going to refer to it as the CIC. They purchased it in 2024. The lot contains both a commercial building and two apartment buildings. The subject of the rezoning is just the area outlined in blue. The surrounding properties, you're in the downtown, the town center, so it's mostly commercial. So to the north, you have actually a vacant piece of parcel that's owned by the CIC. Then just north of that is the Biondo Barber Shop. Then just north of that is the old Dean Snyder Law Offices that has been demolished, and actually that property is also owned by the CIC. Then you have property to the north and to the west that's part of the Sims Townhouses Apartments. And then to the south, there are some offices that are adjacent to it, and then just beyond that is the Burger King. So I think you're all familiar with that site. This is the zoning of the area and some of the surrounding properties. It's a 1.6 acre lot that contains two zoning districts, which is very unusual, especially in Fairfield. Most of our properties, for simplicity's sake, are just zoned one district. The front portion, which fronts on Pleasant Avenue, that is the D1 downtown, which is a commercial zoning district. Then the rear portion is R3, which is a multifamily. The majority of our town center is zoned D1 to allow those uses. We'd like to see the mixed-use type uses. We do have a few PUDs, like the one you see in this picture here. That's the Fairfield Apartments. I'm drawing a blank. It's like Fairfield Village Apartments. It's the senior housing complex, or the senior apartments. And then we do have this other unusual zoning. We have a C2 that's a commercial zoning district, but it actually has apartments on it. So, and that's a residential use, which is non-conforming in this district, but we consider that to be legally non-conforming. So as you can see, it's 90% commercial and 99% basically D1. This is just that same aerial of the same aerial that you saw at the very beginning. I just enlarged it. I just kind of want to show you the front portion to the right. That's the commercial building. That used to be a vape shop. That was the last use, so not a great use. We're happy to see that it's not there. Long time ago, I think it was Fairfield Pharmacy for us people that have been around for a while. We are anticipating receiving grant money to remove this building, so that would be an encouragement. The rear contained those amber terraced apartments. It was a 20 units in two buildings. Actually, both buildings have been demolished with the support of grants that we received from the County Land Bank. The white one with the white roof, that was demoed last year, and then the other one, just to the left of it, that was actually demolished 2 weeks ago. So we are happy to see those two gone. Because this is a D1 zoning district, which is commercial, anywhere that it abuts the residential, so to the north here and then to the west here. So when this site gets redeveloped, these two property lines, since they abut the residential portion, the apartments, they will be required to have a 25-foot wide landscape buffer to protect the two incompatible land uses. And again, this is the portion that we're just rezoning. So as you can see up close, it is mainly just those two apartment buildings that were zoned the R3. This is just some pictures of the site. Again, the one on the left is a picture of what it looks like now. It's that ugly commercial building that I think we all can agree doesn't add any value or benefit to our downtown. And then on the right is the location of the former. So up close in this area was that apartment building. This is the back of that commercial building. And this is a picture I just wanted to show you. This was like 2 weeks ago. I went out there to take the back apartment building, and then like 2 days later, you can see it's gone. And what you see in the background, those are the Sims Townhouse apartments. So right here, kind of in that general area, whenever this is redeveloped, you'll see that 25-foot buffer. So something that would look like when it's matured, like these trees that you would see here screening the site from this site here. The CIC is currently marketing the site for a redevelopment project. We feel that the CIC feels that rezoning the entire site to D1 will facilitate a better opportunity for a larger commercial project. And any new development that happens here will have to comply with our town center overlay design standards. So you'll get a quality building, and since it's properties owned by the CIC, you'll get a quality business going in there as well. Tonight is the joint public hearing. The next, we'll hear this in 2 days, this Wednesday at Planning Commission at 6 o'clock. They will make a recommendation back to back to City Council, who held their second and third readings in September. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'll just go back to this picture.
Are there any questions from council at this time? Seeing none. Planning Commission? No questions from council, no questions from Planning Commission. Oh, from the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions? It appears none. Thank you for the reminder. So with that, I guess we will close out the public hearing, and the next meeting will be in Planning Commission. So thank you, Ms. Lynn, for your time. And again, the public hearing is closed out. Now, we have the regular meeting minutes of July 13th, 2026 in our packets. Are there any corrections, deletions, additions to those? We'll let those stand approved as written and submitted. Old business, Councilmember Brill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one piece of old business. It's an ordinance amending ordinance number 166-84 of the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01B2, the City of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map. This legislation will hold a second reading pending the Planning Commission recommendation.
Thank you, Councilmember. Now we will move into new business.
I'd like to make a motion to read all new business by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to read all new business by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, Development Services. Mr. Timmer, please.
We have one ordinance tonight for Development Services. Planning Manager Aaron Lynn will provide us additional details. Thank you.
Okay, I should have just stayed up here. So we have tonight the final development plan for Whispering Hill. I'm going to give you an overview of the final development plan. In the audience, we have the developer, Jim and Brad Mitchell. We have the builder, which is Brent, representative from MI Homes, Brent Wilkins, and then Terry Corner from Bayer Becker, who is the engineer. So just real quick, the plan unit development, that's what this project is. It's something that, it's a zoning district that allows flexibility in design of development that may not comply with the zoning requirements of a standard zoning district, such as your lot size, your setbacks, your density, and things that are set forth in the regular straight zoning like the D1 or the R3. It's a two-step approval process. The concept development plan is the first step. That's the rezoning of the property. And then it's also kind of the conceptual design of it. City Council approved that concept design in January of 2025, so it's been a while. And then the second phase, or the second step of that process, is the final development plan, and that's what we're here for tonight. And that really talks about the detailed design elements of a project, such as the house design, the lot layouts, landscaping, signage, stuff like that. In 2024, when we did the zoning code update, we looked at the process for having a full PUD approval, and it was probably about a 6-month process. So we were looking at ways to make it business-friendly and to try to help the projects move along a little bit quicker. So what this entails is how it differs from the concept plan. The concept plan had to go through, because it was a rezoning, you had to go through the 3 readings, the public hearing, planning commission. If you all remember, when we made the changes to the code, we decided that the final development plan would be a 2-meeting process. So it went to planning commission last week, the week before, I think. And they gave a written recommendation to you all to approve. And then you just have 1 reading. So that's why the second and the third are suspended, because it's a 2-meeting process. You're all familiar with this site. We know where it's located on the east side of South Gilmore, next to the hospital. It's approximately 18 acres. The concept plan that you all saw about a year and a half ago is what you see up here in this picture, just a reminder of what you all approved. Here's, your street entrance. It's 1 street with a cul-de-sac. It has 68, they're proposing 68 owner-occupied pair villas, each on their own lot. So that would be 34 buildings with 2 units in each building. 4 of those units will be accessed via this private shared driveway. There's a pond that's proposed. This is where the stormwater will be collected. If you remember, the site runs from high to low due to the grades here, and this is the lowest point. There's also going to be a smaller detention basin back here that will collect the runoff from this area here. So if this is the concept plan, our development plan looks very similar, but it has a lot more detail on it. These lots range in size from about 4,800 square feet to 6,100. The size of each villa ranges between 1,500 to 3,200, depending on the chosen layout. You'll see some of the layouts or some of the elevations in a few minutes, but some of the layouts have an opportunity for a second floor, a bonus room. The purple that you see there, those are going to be lots that will have walkout basements, and there's about 18 of those that are proposed. The pink that you see up here in the corner, those are going to have standard basements, and then the rest that are in white will be built on slab. The orange outlines the sidewalk, so not only on Whispering Hill Drive, but they will also be building a sidewalk on South Gilmore with a connection here from the cul-de-sac to allow the residents to access the commercial in the area. And then they also have a walking path that goes along the pond area. So this, I kind of want to break down how this owner-occupied is going to work. As I mentioned, there's 34 buildings on 68 lots. So each unit will be on its own lot with a shared common wall down the middle of the building, which is also their side property line. So whoever owns this unit will own this unit and all of the land, and the same thing over here. The land that you see, kind of the common open space and the land that doesn't contain these lots, those will be maintained by an HOA. HOA will be responsible for maintenance of both the open space and the individual yards of the residential lots. There was some discussion at Planning Commission regarding the possibility of these units being purchased and then rented out by the owner. The intent by the developer is for these units to be owner occupied. There was a condition added at the meeting that the home builder will consider adding a clause to the HOA documents limiting the number of rental units. And that should be in your packets. This is what the units are going to look like. This is the general design. This is the same thing that was presented to you all back at the concept plan. So they did not modify at all what the buildings are going to look like from the conceptual to the final. MI Homes will be the sole home builder. There are 3 floor plans to choose from. So each half may look a little different, giving it some variation into the neighborhood. So I'm going to go over those 3 home plan or floor plans that they're proposing. This is called the Avery. It's the smallest of the 3 options. All of the buildings will either, they will have brick base with a vinyl siding. They have an option of either being an all white with the natural wood trim or dark gray, they call it cast iron, with a white trim. Each building will be a single color, so one building will be all white, so 2 units will be white, or the gray. You're not going to have half gray and half white. This is the Brody. It's a little larger. You can see that a little bit of change in the decorative eave. Now it's located over the garage. And then the largest one that you would have would be the Cameron, which has a decorative eave with a window above the garage and then a decorative eave over the front door. In your packets, you should have received a little bit more detail about, how the floor plans are and what the inside or the interior will look like. This is a picture of what My Homes has a development called Timber Hollow out in Fairfield Township, which is the same style that you are going to have here in Fairfield. So I just kind of wanted to show you what it would look like as you're driving down the street. You're kind of going to see some, variations and some bump outs, depending on how, which layouts are chosen. Just a few little things I want to wrap up with is that due to the final grade of the site, there will be a retaining wall about 300 feet along the east property line that will have a decorative safety fence over it. So you kind of see that picture right there. And then here's the landscape plan. So they do have a tree preservation plan, which basically requires the majority of the trees on site to be removed due to the extensive grading that's required. They are going to maintain a tree row along the north property line, but they are going to be adding a lot of trees back, about 260 trees that combines of this buffering here along this, the hospital, street trees, trees that are going to be located throughout the site. And then we also asked them at the concept plan level to any of these lots, these houses here that are closest to South Gilmore, that they provide a screening from the roadway, and they have provided that. I think this is the last slide I have. This is an entry feature that you're going to see. I have it highlighted here in red. So this is what it'll look like when you come into the subdivision. So after they get approval of the final development plan, they still have to submit construction plans to our office. I know they've been working on that. And then they can get those approved and start moving some earth. The developer is here, so they can give you a little bit more idea of when their timeline is, and a representative from MI Homes is here if you have any questions about the villas. Other than that, I'd be happy to ask or answer any questions you may have for me.
Aaron, which ones are the, with the walkout capability?
Okay, I'm going to go back to
I couldn't make
this
that.
bigger slide here, so just give me 1 second. Here we go. So the ones in purple are walkouts.
Okay, gotcha.
You said the total count is 68 units. Is that including the addition of the ones with the walkout basement, or does that change the overall total?
No, all of them total is 68 units, including the walkout.
Thanks, Aaron.
Is there any other questions from council?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Lennon. Appreciate it. Councilmember Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 166-84 of the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01B2, the City of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map by approving the final development plan for the Whispering Hill Planned Unit Development. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And a motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Any questions from council? Audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, council member. Next, we'll move to public safety. Mr. Timmer, please.
We have one ordinance and one simple motion tonight for public safety. The ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a 5-year contract with Axon Enterprises for tasers, body-worn cameras, cruiser cameras, training simulators, and additional public safety services. The total contract is approximately $2.36 million, with funding provided through the police department's annual operating budget. Thank you.
I think Councilmember Myers for Councilmember Paulus tonight, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Axon Enterprises to provide tasers, body-worn cameras, fleet cameras, and additional public safety services, and declaring an emergency. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is a simple motion. This is a motion not to request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Lock Stop Capital LLC, Wings and Rings, 5486 Dixie Highway, Fairfield, Ohio, 45014. This is a permit class D5J.
Second.
We have a simple motion and a second not to request a hearing for a liquor permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Next, Public Utilities, Mr. Timmer, please.
We have two resolutions tonight for public utilities. The first resolution authorizes the city manager to execute an agreement with Butler County to provide retail sewer service to certain parcels within the city. These are primarily parcels on the far east side of the city where sanitary sewage is already conveyed through city infrastructure but ultimately treated through the county system. The agreement will formalize the existing arrangement for current and future utility customers. The second resolution authorizes the city manager to execute a reciprocal water service agreement with Butler County. The agreement formalizes existing arrangements under which Butler County provides water service to certain city parcels on the east side of Fairfield, while the city provides water service to certain parcels in Westchester Township. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Myers, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our first item is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Butler County Board of Commissioners, Butler County, Ohio, authorizing Butler County to provide retail sewer services to certain parcels in the city of Fairfield. This time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The last item I have is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with the Butler County Board of Commissioners, Butler County, Ohio, authorizing Butler County to provide public water service to certain parcels in the city of Fairfield and authorizing the city of Fairfield to provide public water services to certain parcels in Westchester Township. This time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, council member. Next, Public Works, Mr. Timmer, please.
We have one ordinance tonight for Public Works. The ordinance appropriates certain interest in real property needed for the Pleasant Avenue Road Improvement Project. The project will improve Pleasant Avenue from Hunter Road to Nillis Road, including the addition of sidewalks on the west side of Pleasant Avenue. The appropriation involves 8 parcels with 4 different owners. The project is scheduled to bid in December with construction beginning in early '27, substantially completed by the end of 2027. Thank you.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have ordinance, I have one ordinance to authorize, to appropriate to public use certain interests in real property identified in plans prepared by Choice One Engineering Incorporated, entitles Butler US 127 Pleasant Avenue Road Improvement Project, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second, third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and a second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please. I'm sorry. I was on a roll.
Yes, sir, you were. It happens. Hi, Scott Lepsky, 7 Carousel Circle here in Fairfield. Just a few questions, looking for some additional information. Is this legislation in connection with the road diet project for Pleasant Avenue?
I would answer yes, although I wouldn't characterize it as a road diet. It's more as a lane utilization project.
Well, that's the term that was used by Mr. Dill in the application for the OKI funding. So I'm just continuing.
Fair enough.
Thank you. So with that in mind, just to be clear, is there an end, a final version of this? Is there a final visual of this that the citizens of Fairfield can look at? Something that would show the final path and the road allocations and all of that information?
The plans for it have been completed.
Is that out for public dissemination? Is it someplace easy for the public to
I
see?
can't say that it is. We did have an open house on it where it was disseminated at that point, but no, I can't say that it's on the website anywhere.
Okay. So to be clear and to use plain language, because I'm a plain guy, I'm not an engineer. It's my understanding that the end result of this, including the pathway that's being discussed here, the end result of this will take away one of the southbound lanes on Pleasant Avenue at the end of the project, at the end of the combined projects.
So I would
is that
answer that,
accurate?
I would answer that with that, one of the southbound lanes will be reallocated as a center turn lane that does not exist today.
So the current layout of two southbound lanes on Pleasant Avenue will be reduced to one southbound lane on Pleasant Avenue. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Right now, the two southbound lanes continue to Reeser Road. They will end approximately 800 to 1,000 feet south of Wessel Drive, and then it'll become a center turn lane as you approach South Staunton and all of the intersections between there.
So one southbound lane on Pleasant in this general area that we're discussing?
Yes.
Okay. It's also my understanding that in the 80s, the elected council, the folks who were filling the positions that you are currently, decided that the increased traffic and the truck traffic, especially going southbound on Pleasant, going up the hill, was a danger and posed significant traffic congestion issues. Now, if I may, this is the Kroger truck that I was next to, just on that very same hill. I've got plenty of those pictures. You probably don't need them. You could just walk outside and within 10 minutes, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So a couple of questions, I guess. If in the 80s, if 40 years ago, traffic and truck congestion was significant enough for council to add that lane, how does it make sense with increased traffic and increased truck traffic to take that away and put that traffic issue back in place? I'm a little fuzzy on the logic there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but when I was at the open house and we had the residents there, wasn't it to slow down the traffic because we've had so many accidents? And so this is really to slow down the traffic because the people up in Emerald Lake has been complaining because so many people run that red light. And they just barrel through that, and we've had many accidents.
I would,
Go
I
ahead.
think, yes, I agree with that, and I would echo that more of the trucks are there are certainly a lot more automatic trucks today than there were in the 80s, and that there's not a lot, I don't think there's a lot of trucks going up that hill that aren't exceeding the speed limit already.
Oh, no, they are absolutely not exceeding the speed limit. And one thing that you can certainly do to slow down traffic is to stack everybody up unsafely behind those trucks where they're going to wind up using any means they can to get around them. Now, to Councilwoman Pennington's point, running a red light is not going to be impacted by reducing the available lanes.
Scott,
Stupid people are just
can I
gonna
add
do
something
stupid
to
things.
that?
Of course.
I'm on that road many times because I go up there and I turn
Absolutely.
left on Reeser Road. And people now are, yes, they're in both lanes. But what they're doing is they're trying to get around the traffic and they cut over to where the left lane is going to go left. And they cut that person off to come back and get around that person. So they're trying to
And
speed.
not only do
up.
they do that, they use the right turn lane into Emerald Lake as a cut around as
So
well.
I've seen many
I've
people-
seen it
Yeah.
hundreds of times.
But they're coming over in the turn laning and then cutting, and going across the single line.
So if bad driving habits and if ignoring safety laws is the
Taking
issue.
Pictures on your phone when you're driving?
Exactly. If ignoring these basic good driving habits is the issue, then wouldn't it make more sense to at least put some radar signs out or post some officers, and work on traffic enforcement? With all of the increased traffic, with the slow trucks going up the hill, I'm wondering what, if any, impact studies were done? What studies were done to determine the impact of eliminating the southbound lane? Was there anything done? Any studies?
So we work with traffic engineers. This was also a plan that was vetted and reviewed by ODOT. So it's something that was discussed throughout the design process. I can't pull out a study that I can point to and give to you where that was spelled out, but that was part of our design process. There is still, the second lane does not end immediately. There is a short merge so that if there's a truck at the intersection, you'll have some time to get around it before it ends.
If you're
It does
one
not
of the
end
fortunate ones,
immediately.
sure. But I guess, so the easy answer is there was no direct study done.
Again, traffic engineers worked on these plans. Traffic engineers reviewed these plans.
Oh, these were likely the same traffic engineers that reviewed similar plans in Reading, where the road diet was unanimously rejected by council, and because of the uproar of the citizens once they found out what was actually taking place. So part of the reason I'm asking these questions, and what I think we're uncovering here, is folks don't know what the actual final product is going to look like. And I think that's a really bad idea. Folks should know there should be more transparency, just quite honestly.
Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but the other initial discussions for this type of design going southbound on Pleasant Avenue was to establish a turn lane that would make traversing into the side adjacent streets a much more safer event, because as you come around, you do have the drivers that are electing to use the left-hand lane as a passing high-speed lane to get around slow trucks, slow-moving vehicles. They would come up suddenly on stop traffic and then rear-end the person that was trying to subsequently turn left into those side adjacent streets. And the same thing for the right side as well. So I think one of the challenges, not a traffic engineer, not even an engineer, I'm actually in sales, but one of the understandings of the design is, if not this, then what? And that was wrapped around the idea of creating a center turn lane that allowed exiting of Pleasant Avenue to be much more safe and controlled an environment, with the end game not creating a 4-lane highway from Fairfield all the way down to the Pleasant Avenue intersection to where we rely on Hamilton County to then narrow it down to 2 lanes at that point. So, I mean, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember something about that in initial discussions.
Yes, I think you said that very well, that we believe that the two-way left center turn lane and giving cars turning left onto Staunton, Rolling Hills, and the subsequent intersections between there and Reeser Road, that's important to give them somewhere to safely sit when turning left. Right now, they don't. Southbound, they're sitting in the through lane with the high-speed cars passing the slower cars, and then they're sitting there dead stopped to turn left. So we think it's important to give them a refuge lane. So you can't have something for nothing. The left turn lane comes at the cost of a second through lane that already ended at Reeser Road.
Mr.
What-
Leskey,
yes, sir.
I'm a little confused. I mean, as always, you always come well-prepared with information, and council appreciates that, but I'm confused. Is your point about not a final set of plans that's been shown to the public? What is the point?
Points in order are the transparency. The final plan hasn't been shown to the public.
Okay, and we can get that, right, Ben?
Yes, we, again, had an open house where we showed, Councilmember Pennington was there, where we showed it to the affected citizens along the corridor.
So we can get that.
Yes.
Okay, what's next?
Dedicated traffic study for these changes.
I think.
I am deep, it's been said that they were discussed, but there's not been a specific traffic study, and before $5.5 million is spent on this total combined project, I think it's worth at least getting a safety
Well,
study.
I feel comfortable, our city engineer has basically stated that this design, which is stamped by a state engineer, correct?
It's signed by the district engineer, it's stamped by engineers. It's similar to the plan that we did for Pleasant Avenue between Nillis
Okay.
and Patterson. So we were just expanding on that idea.
But the point is, Ben, that it's been reviewed for safety, correct?
Yes,
As part of this, and stamped by a registered licensed engineer based on the safety analysis. Is that accurate?
that is accurate.
Okay, what's next?
The same could be said for Reading, Florence, and other communities where they've said that we have to do this because state money is on the line. And in retrospect, they decided that it was a horrible idea based on public input and a safety study.
Well, I think you're making, it's just my opinion, Scott, you're making a point that perhaps our process was not compliant or thoughtful, and I would disagree with that.
Okay?
Let me interject as well. This is actually not legislation to approve this project. This is legislation we're deep into this project. We've acquired a number
Well,
of
that's my point,
parcels.
Steve.
This was something that was discussed, I think, in a council manager briefing quite some time ago. It was part of the transparency process and whatnot. At the last council meeting, you passed a resolution of intent and necessity to proceed on these acquisitions. The only reason this legislation is on because we have 4, I believe, parcels remaining. All the other ones, we've already settled with the property owners. We're deep into this project, so. And the final 4, this legislation is required in order for me to be able to file a appropriation action prior to September 1st, which is the deadline by which we have to have acquired all the property interests. So delaying this legislation would basically interfere with our ability to deliver possession. I don't know what
It would
ODOT
certainly
would do.
jeopardize the schedule that we've committed to, and is only, I won't say a formality, but is only necessary. We've been in positive contact with all 4 of these properties. We hope to have them settled before this date. This is so that if they are not settled, we can let ODOT know that we either have a right of entry or we have the mechanism to continue.
Right, so this is, like I said, this is legislation that I'd asked for so that I would be in a position to sign that certification.
And please make
So,
no mistake,
the
I
back
have,
of this
I
and-
have no issue with the property acquisition. The additional lanes on Pleasant Avenue make all the sense in the world. A safe bike path on Pleasant Avenue makes sense. This discussion is with regard to what the end product is going to look like and what the end result is going to be. And it's my position, my belief that removing that additional southbound lane that the council before you 40 years ago saw fit to put in there for public safety, removing that is a really bad idea. And I don't think we can have a serious discussion about about the merits of this proposal without a dedicated safety study, which at a $5.5 million project, I don't think is a big ask.
Mr. Mann, can you remind us what the project goals were when this was originally proposed to take this step?
So we've gone through this, this has been talked about in CIPs for several years. And the original goal is obviously to put to follow our connectivity plan and to, number 1 in the connectivity plan, the number 1 rated project was a multi-use path along Pleasant Avenue. So we're working towards that goal of establishing that multi-use path. We knew it would be difficult. We knew it was in the connectivity plan. It was the number 1 most expensive and the number 1 most wanted path. It was both of those things. So we knew it was going to be difficult for construction and for right-of-way, and we've been working through those challenges.
Mr. Mayor, motion's already been made for adoption. I'd like to call it for vote.
A final comment, if I may. One of the, and I think Mr. Mann just illustrated one of the issues with this is every piece of public dissemination that has gone out has been New Fairfield Trail to connect Hunter Park with Village Green. not not one of the a headline that one of the southbound lanes is being removed to do it. So again, at a 5.5 million, 5.6 million, if you look at the OKI numbers, if that's the total in for the project, I don't think it's a big ask to get a safety study to make sure that we don't have additional traffic-related incidents, as Mr. Mann pointed to in the council manager's briefing with regard to traffic congestion. So, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Lepsky. We are to the motion for adoption. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mayor.
Next, we have finance and budget. Mr. Timmer.
We have two ordinances tonight for finance and budget. The first ordinance establishes salaries and hourly rates for certain municipal court employees and updates the authorized staffing levels. Specifically, due to recent turnover and difficulty finding part-time candidates, the municipal court is requesting an additional full-time bailiff position, increasing the number from 2 to 3 and reducing the number of the bailiff position back down to 1. Funding is provided with the approved 26 operating budget, and this is to correct an ordinance that was passed in July. The second ordinance is for non-contractual appropriations totaling $186,253 and includes 5 projects in the public utilities and public works departments, as well as the city's IT division. Thank you.
Councilmember Bezel, please.
Thank you. I have an ordinance to establish salaries and hourly rates for certain municipal court employees of the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and to authorize and limit the numbers and types of certain municipal court employees, to repeal ordinance number 84-26 and all amendments thereto, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, council member. Madam Clerk, we have the meeting schedule, please.
Monday, September 14th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM. Monday, September 28th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM. Tuesday, October 13th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and we'll move to executive session.